previous game.
Yes.
He did recover the memory that Rua had taken from him, and it turned out it was a memory he had apparently forgotten, um, of being a warden amongst other Warforged in um, somewhere. There were
In,
a lot of cells. There was conversations about things they had to keep trapped, and he had brief recollections of being instructed away from mistakes and instructing others away from mistakes, and that there was some kind of attack. And I think that encompassed all the returned memory.
more or less. I have the full transcript if you would like to peruse that later.
Oh, yes.
Um, and by later, I mean now.
Thank you.
Oh
Um,
no, where to put it?
while he was dealing with that, the latest of his existential crises, um, he left the Koboloi to head back to Cross's place, former place, to rendezvous with everyone um, as they were discussing their plans for the next stage of what's going on. And I'll let someone else jump in to bring us up to that point since he had some stuff that that meeting ended on.
Um, the group meeting.
There was a group meeting, a plan. Plans were being made to go southward.
Yep. There seems to be three things on the docket, which include uh, exploring the ziggurat, killing the King of Feathers, and um, exploring Camp Vengeance to see what the fuck happened there. Um, People are various levels of cautious slash gung ho about those plans.
Yeah, there's a lot of happiness about getting to fight the King of Feathers for all, like Reg's caution.
Happiness, quote unquote.
Yeah, they were like we've done stuff like this before. We've done more than this before. We've probably got this.
I think it was Alina that was cautioning people that it's a bit harder than it looks.
I think Verdi also mentioned that many teeth were part of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Vanya looked uncomfortable.
not quite Zilris size, but bigger than a Great Shaggy.
So
I
it was. Go ahead.
I do remember the end of the night ending with Biff wanting to talk to Alina about that, but was stopped by Monty.
Yeah, Monty interrupted. He did go his separate way.
Yeah, but like we didn't get to get into that. I'm just that's just what happened.
Oh, yeah. Biff's storyline was part of the early start of the night.
It was.
Yeah.
Biff's got a duel.
Oh yeah, Biff met with Aramag who and was kind of forced into setting up a duel to show off the might of the champion. Biff could not convince Aramag that it was a bad idea, so that's got to happen.
No, it was a good idea. It's a great idea. It's his idea.
So yeah, that's gonna happen the next morning. Since
This is the next morning.
yeah,
This is the next morning. We're the next morning, folks. Yeah, so some shit went down during the night. You guys ended up spending your nights in the various places. Alina, if I recall correctly, was visited by Doug Marin Brightmantle and asked, for maybe some, maybe a shoe in with the Matron of Ravens. Vuri spent the night on Vanya's couch, met Vanya's other cat. Vanya's other cat met Fred and Jack. Jack and Fred. Fred and Jack. What else happened? Bones got to sleep at the new tower. He can actually sleep. And Heldy. Heldy actually managed to bag her quarry. So, at the early wee hours of the morning, as the sun has just kind of come up and has warmed up the island city, as the crew, the blackguards, have been summoned, and Vanya has tagged along to listen and hear about this exodus toward the south. Who is dying? I'd like to pull away from the main cast as you guys are gathered and going over details and preparing to catch up with Heldy. On the other side of the island, on the other side of the city, in Gnome Town, in a tiny little apartment on one of the top floors of a ramshackle apartment building. Because in Gnome Town, what isn't ramshackle? Heldy, you stir from your slumber with a stabbing pain in your stomach.
Is it a familiar pain, or?
As you rustle and turn over and shift and kind of feel yourself, the sensation only grows worse. You feel a flushed sensation in your cheeks. You feel this sort of trickling, tingling sensation run from the tip of your horns to the bottom of your tail. Goosebumps begin to rise along your forearms and shoulders as shivers begin to set in. The stabbing pain is met with an overwhelming sense of nausea. As the minutes go by and the sensation doesn't seem to shake away from you, give me a medicine check.
Is a 17 on die.
17 on die. One moment. You sit and you kind of rock a little bit, and your bed partner begins to stir and shift and wake up as your fidgeting and twisting and general holding of yourself grows to be a little less than subtle and a little more concerted. You kind of rock back and forth, your stomach kind of tensing up, spasming, cramping, and you think about, well, shit, you know you're sick. You know you're sick with something. And you begin to look over the symptoms and think back to the time on the ship. And you recall an instance where you had docked at a foreign port and spent perhaps a little too much time in a nearby swamp and contracted an illness known as sewer plague. Sewer plague is a generic term for a broad category of illnesses that incubate in sewers, refuse heaps, and stagnant swamps. A disease sometimes transmitted by creatures that live in these areas, such as rats, other vermin, and perhaps in your case, ravenous tentacle monsters. You wake up with 1 point of exhaustion, and you are aware that so long as you are sick like this, you will not have a good night's rest. The rest of the day is going to suck, unless you get treatment. You could potentially shake it off, but it's gonna take you a while. Information about the disease is in your items folder.
It actually popped up.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, I
everyone
was
sees
Cool
reading
beans.
that.
it.
Excellent.
Alright, well, Hildy has a few things on her mind. She doesn't like being sick, that's for sure. I don't think anyone really does. It's a bit embarrassing to be sick over somebody else's house. At first she thought it was something she ate at the carnival, and then it kind of struck her that no, it was probably being in the refuse pit and catching something there. She knew she shouldn't have gone there. So she's pissed at herself about that. Meanwhile, Gerald's probably like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Nah, he's sleeping.
Everything okay? You're all right. Oh, you look sick. You look very pale.
I think I got a bug or something. I feel like shit.
Oh, you look like shit. Well, let me get some pants on, and we can go. I can run off. Maybe get some medicine. I think the clinic is open this time of day.
You would do that for me?
Ooh, you can't really be doing it yourself. You look like shit.
Oh, okay. Hildy kind of feels like a weird pang of emotion from that. He just met this guy and he wants to run off and do that for her. She's very touched. A part of her has warmed up a little bit that she hasn't felt in quite some time.
So you watch on as he kind of scrabbles to get his pants on, scratches and yawns, and kind of goes about the apartment grabbing small things. And he throws a towel your way and some old, well, not old, but it's bland bread, sits it on the table nearby, and brings a bucket and places it nearby. All right, well, you're probably going to want the bucket more than anything else. I'll be back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't go, using the stairs or anything. You look really wobbly. Just don't move, okay? Don't move, and just don't move.
I won't move.
All right, stay cozy, and I'll be back as soon as I can. He walks off to one of the tables, grabs a coin purse, fashions it to his belt, and leaves you to your devices.
I'm assuming that she's going to be feeling chills too, despite the fact that it's warm.
Oh yeah, chills, stomach cramps, vomit as much as you think is necessary for your character.
Oh yeah, she'll probably. Purging might make her feel better.
It won't.
It won't.
It will not. So, while you have dysentery, moving back to the other side of the room, back to Crosp's office, pulling away from that.
Here, I thought she was gonna grow crab arms or something.
No, that's just me fucking with you.
Thank you.
Back at Crosp's office. The rest of the party, you have mingled and gathered and begun, back and forth conversation. Biff you had meant to catch up with Alina, and she had gone her separate way. It looks, yeah. Alina's got shit to do. Bones, you had wanted to catch up with Vanya about a potion.
Yeah, we had actually before game ended a short conversation about Bones being willing to pay both in gold and favors for a potion of regeneration.
And Vanya made a note to speak with the gunslingers about that since she had the troll heart handy.
I actually thought I was metagaming, and then I checked my notes from like fucking a year and a half ago, and it literally says, check in with Vanya about a potion of regeneration.
Oh yeah, we're closing those threads, baby.
Bones also knew someone who could possibly fill in for Vanya while she... Oh, I've got a new icon. Fill in for Vanya at Edith's shop, allowing Vanya to go south. Vanya still has to approach Edith about this. Karn had also mentioned to Bones about his desire to see if they could start up a trading, what's the word I'm looking for? Trade line?
Mm-hmm.
Something. Trading between the Red Clay clan and the Koboloi at Little Hand, so they could get some spell shards up there to accompany them. And then he expressed his need to search out either Grabstab or Ciela, and on Roar's suggestion, had used the road to try and locate Ciela to find her in a cell that looked very similar to the one from his memory earlier. And he had described what he had seen to his companions and then just kind of like sat back a little dumbfounded as he pondered the implications of this, and that's where he had left off. So he's still pondering dumbfounded at the moment.
Pondering dumbfounded. Okay, Karn, you're just kind of in your own head.
Adanu's nearby, right?
Adanu is in the portable hole. You kind of set it up on one of the walls.
I, other than my slight verbiage disagreement with Karn, since he had realized that he is a warden now, doesn't want to call the wardens down south wardens.
No, I'm not with them. No way.
Doesn't matter. That's what they're called. At least for Roar.
Not to me.
So, based on the description that he gave to everyone for the being smooth black stone and everything, that sounded like what he was told the ziggurat should look like a bit. So, I think we had all kind of discussed that it sounds like that's the ziggurat. If I'm remembering the end of game correctly.
I don't think we got that far. I think the ziggurat was mentioned in a different conversation.
The ziggurat has been a point of, could this be the thing? For several things now.
I could swear it was brought up, but yeah, Roar would, if it wasn't, then Roar would definitely say, well, that sounds... I mean, if it was to the south, it sounds like the ziggurat, because we were told the ziggurat was specifically, smooth black stone, kind of ominous with a lot of undead around. But with his description, and Roar failed his insight check when it came to him getting all touchy about the wording for warden. But with the way that it was described, he's actually going to walk into the portable hole after letting Karn know, hold on, I'll be right back. And when he walks in...
As you enter into the portable hole, you find Adanu is sitting cross-legged upon the stone beds, and there are several dozen candy wrappers strewn about on the floor and the bed near him. He is currently placing some kind of honeycomb candy into his mouth. Mm. Mm. And chewing loudly.
I see you have found treats.
Oh, confections. Yes, it has been so long. Your voice, you are Pond. Welcome. Thank you once more for allowing me to reside within your demiplane. I feel quite robust in here.
Well, that is good to hear. And good to see that you're enjoying new experiences or rekindled experiences.
Memories, yes.
Speaking of memories, we have a place that we need to stop by. Possibly liberate, or I don't know what word I would use for this, but it is described as a ziggurat. It is buried in, right, it is half buried in the jungle. There's smooth black stone. There's a heavy undead presence around it. I don't know if that's something similar that you would expect for a Sararak, or if it's something after your time, or...
He kind of grimaces, and you can see him not frowning in like fear, but kind of like anger, as you mentioned, Sararak. He quells it and pushes it back, lips growing tight. After the Sararak did what he did, changed the way the ether flows, the undead began to rise on their own. Anyone who did not survive the exodus north, we quickly learned they had to be burned. It was a dark time for us. But this, he cups his hands and makes like a triangular shape. Ziggurat, a pyramid shape, yes. It is not known to me. It does not surprise me that such a place would exist. During our exodus, there were signs of other civilizations along the way. Ruins, buried old things. There were other civilizations in Tikal long before we masters of magic came into prominence in Ono. When the calamity tore itself up from the belly of the earth, the resulting war destroyed much of the civilization on the world. Tikal was no exception. My trek north ended roughly the same place where you found me. Perhaps if others of my kind, the other masters, were around, they might have more information.
Okay, well, that is unfortunate. I was hoping you knew more, because it sounds like, with the description of the place, it sounded like another location that one of our companions had seen would have been there, but if we can't confirm that, it's hard to tell.
He nods, kind of holding onto the candy, thinking. You mentioned Blackstone. Do you know of any symbols or markings?
Yes and no.
Sam, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Where did it drop out?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. The wizard Crosp that you met might have something, since he's really interested in the ziggurat and had hoped that we would go down there to look. But also, a crazed alchemist named Crowley pointed out that an object or a symbol on one of my body pieces might have an answer there. He told me it was the alchemical symbol for antimony, but he couldn't tell me anything else aside from that. He said I'd find more explanations there.
Adana holds his chin and nods slowly. Antimony is an ancient symbol. I'm afraid I do not have much to offer. Beyond that, if such a symbol was being used, it would have to be of a particularly well-established civilization. The discovery of alchemy is not a... It is not a feat undertaken by those who are not well in tune with the arcane. Whoever built it, they could very well be on par with Omu. Perhaps a civilization that fell during its prime, during the calamity.
Well, that is both encouraging and concerning.
He nods and slowly eats the honey candy, looking to be deep in thought as well as he mulls the information over. I'm sorry I cannot be of more help, but if you can find more information, markings, symbols, the symbology, if it is decorated and the cultural cues, I may have some insight, but I'm afraid I'm as lost as you are.
Well, thank you for the time, though. It at least gives us a little bit more to go with. If Cross comes around again, if he has some of the symbols, perhaps I can, or have him, come in and relay that to you, and maybe get some more done that way.
Yes, please do. I quite enjoy the human's company. He is peculiar in a fun way.
Indeed. Oh, before I let you go, I have an idea to modify a magic item that we have, but it seems like it would be something I'd need some of your older magic to possibly make happen. And I've seen the runic on the Sentinels, and I've seen some of the giant runic in other locations, and was wondering if perhaps, if I describe the runic to you, if there are things that you know that should aid with your preferred method of runic. If you could use prestidigitation to make the symbols and let me know how it would be aligned, perhaps I can make this thing a reality.
Mr. Pond, I'm far beyond the days of concealing and hoarding my knowledge. I would be happy to lend what insight I might have for you. You have done me a great service. You have saved me, helping you with this project of yours. It is the very least I can do.
Well, thank you very much. I'd offer to show you to the alchemist that I talked about, but he is much more strange and concerning.
You will find that of most alchemists. The whisper of a smile crosses his face.
Thank you for your time, and I'll bow even though he doesn't see it, out of politeness. And I will leave you to your confections.
He inclines his head and begins to eat another candy. You leave Adanhu behind with some answers but more questions.
So I pop out and I'll quickly read people into it, just saying, hey, he has no idea what the ziggurat is. Where we found him was the furthest north he got on the island. They during the exodus north from Omu, they were finding remnants of cities that had, civilizations that were there long before them. They were probably there pre-calamity and got destroyed during the calamity. And he can't tell us one way or another if the thing that Karn saw was specifically in the ziggurat or not.
Well, we'll find out when we go. If he's up for talking, I wouldn't mind having a conversation with him as well.
He's up for talking. If Cross came by and had information on some of the symbology and such around the ziggurat or on the ziggurat, he would be very intrigued to listen to that. He is currently enjoying confections, so you can interrupt him. He's just making mouth sounds and enjoying sensations he's not having from time.
It's like a kid.
Speaking of your friend, but we do not have a solution to his situation yet, do we?
I think Red is working on it this morning.
And he has also noted that in my dead...
You cut out. In your bag? In your den?
Yep.
And you're done what?
I see you lighting up, but I don't see you. I don't hear you.
So I was saying that in my he seems to be doing just a lot better inside of the portable hole. In the diving plane.
That is good. I do not mind using the spell, but because it needs to be renewed, it's much better that a permanent solution is found. I'm glad to hear he is doing well. Although that reminds me, I do need to speak with Edith.
Yeah, we could, if we went back to the other Sentinel, we could put him back in it, and he could get it to funnel life force from the living plants and such around it, and sustain himself that way, if I recall correctly.
That's about the gist of it, yeah.
So yeah, we do have a method that means putting him in a place alone, but as long as we have someone who can do what Vanya is doing, he just can't see until we go give up life force to get him more.
Would be ideal if something could give him that life force and allow him to move around.
Technically,
Let's get him a
Karn
pot.
is going to start to stir and lean forward. There are many places to see on the way south. This one believes these ones have much investigation to do. So long as these ones do not mind the investigations.
well, I most certainly am very interested in the ziggurat since it could give me an answer to part of my construction, though the fact that it can now gives me pause based off of my discussion with Adanu.
This one needs to seek out the Ciela, so this one is interested in investigating all of the areas.
Okay.
Vanya just kind of blinks at Karn and looks around. All of the areas?
Well, we have 3 firm goals in mind, and we'll see what we can find on the way.
Oh, Karn.
Um,
Do you have the ability to conjure elemental beings?
Karn stares blankly into the distance for a long moment. Maybe.
Well, that is helpful. If you can. I have an idea for the boat. To make it work inland, or on land, on sea, possibly air, possibly lava.
This one feels that this might be possible for this one to do. But this one might need some time to figure it out.
Okay. Well,
So,
if
as
it's something you could figure out within a day, that would be very helpful.
It might take me that long.
oh, what is this? All right. So, as you guys talk shop about building a boat, why is game paused? Whoops. As you talk shop about how to get your project running, and Roar, you begin to kind of chart out and plan your course of action. You do realize that Gallium is still nearby. He's reading a book upstairs in the corner. Bones, you step aside from the group after mentioning being curious about speaking with Adana. And as they're kind of conversing, you slip away through the portable hole. Just like Roar, you enter into this small room, a small pile of candy wrappers kind of strewn about on the stone bed as Adana remains sitting cross-legged, eating something pink and stretchy.
Good morning.
You will have to pardon me. It is quite chewy. Yes, good morning.
It's Bones to Farron, by the way.
Bones to Farron, the Notley and the Tabaxi, yes. Hello, yes, hi. Welcome.
Hi, I just had a few questions about a Sararak.
Oh, well, I will strive to swallow my venom and answer as candidly and objectively as I can.
I mean, there's no need for that, but I just need to confirm some things that I've heard.
You have heard of Serac.
I've been studying him for a while.
I see. He was unknown to us before he attacked. What lore we could divine from the oracles through our magic was scattered and incomplete, unfortunately. What have you learned?
That he is a Cambion, the son of a Baelor. And that
He nods.
he studied under something called the Whispered One.
You see his ears go flat. His brows kind of narrow behind his blindfold. One moment. He places the candy wrapper down, places his hands into his lap, and inclines his head. The name is known to me. The Whispered One. They are two wizards. Those who are well versed, who begin to reach their understanding of the cosmos outward toward destinations and whens unknown. For those who have begun to look beyond the here and now to the grander scope, for the many seeds left behind from the first world. Know of this Whispered One as a sort of boogeyman. This is downplaying the cosmic import of this entity. They are... A wizard would not be appropriate. What do you need to know?
I was mostly confirming. You don't
yes.
know what I need to know yet.
I see. I would urge you, if you are willing and prefer your life to be simple, not to go down that road. As far as the Serac is concerned. And similarly, we understand that he is not from here. He arrived from without, from an adjacent sea, somewhere beyond our world.
Good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
He inclines his head. What else would you like to confirm?
Those were the big things for now.
Oh, I see, yes. Well, I shall rack my brain if you have further questions.
Oh, I did want to check on one thing.
Yes, of course.
Has nothing to do with anything. One of my father's theories, I just want to check.
He reaches for another piece of candy.
Was Draconic always the primary language here on Tikal? Or did Sumerian Common happen later or earlier?
He cocks a brow slyly. As I understand it, before we rose to prominence, Omu was already speaking Draconic. When the first Omuans erected the city, They shared the island, if not the land, with several other folk, natives. They were the Leonin, the Envie. He scratches his head for a moment. One moment. Aha. As Omu established themselves, the natives began to recognize us as kin, you see. We had neighbors, the Envie, they were skilled mystics and artisans. The Gripli, frog-like folk, diminutive, lived off the land, very salt of the earth. They did not have the ways of magic. The Leonin, soothsayers and astrologists of a feline disposition. I had mistaken you for one of their kind. The diminutive, moon-worshipping race, the Koboloi, ancient, small folk, shy from the ways of the sun. Their ways were peculiar to us. They kept to themselves. They all had their own languages. But Omu spoke Draconic, the language of the gods.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
And Bones just has a stupid grin on her face as she leaves. Because that was definitely probably one of her father's theories just confirmed.
Yeah, there's a little bit there's too much mixing and matching of languages for there not to be a little something else going on before people.
Yeah.
You leave Adanu behind as he takes another candy, adds to the pile, and the portable hole turns to darkness behind you as you leave behind.
Just nod to everyone. Alright, it's time for me to go do 8 million things before we leave.
And to be sure, when do we leave?
Day after tomorrow.
Biff nods to himself. Okay, sounds good.
And I should see about my errands as well. Although, well, it occurs to me, 30, let me borrow your dagger.
Alright, he takes out his dagger somewhat hesitantly because, okay.
I'll reach over, take it, then gather up my...
He'll turn.
and stab it into... No. I gather up my hair over my shoulder and I cut off a little lock of it from the very end. I'll hand it back to Verdi, and then I'll take the lock and twist it into like a little knot, and then hold it out to Bones.
Bones will take it.
Is that ritual for leaving?
No, there's something... It's a way for me to communicate to Bones from a very long distance.
With her? It's interesting. Bones, why did you not tell me of
It's
this?
the least creepiest, yes.
Because I don't want to give away my hair.
I just shake my head slightly at this. I'm going to speak with the gunslingers about this potion, and then I speak with Edith about how unhappy she would be if I were to go south. Once I have some information, I figure this would be a good way to pass that information to you quickly and perhaps tell you where I might be found. Unfortunately, it doesn't work both ways, but It should still be good.
It's a one-way beeper.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, thank you. I was worried about what I was going to tell Edith about my plans, but now that there's the possibility that she might still have help around the shop, that might make things easier. Maybe.
I have a few candidates in mind.
Excellent. If you will all excuse me, I am going to see about these errands. Verdi, do you have any plans for the day?
Birdie shakes his head. I did all my supplies yesterday.
You are welcome to accompany with me if you wish.
Birdie's tail actually wags just a little bit. He nods.
Karn, from his position behind and to the side of Verdi, looks over and stares at Verdi's tail.
I would like to insight check, please. Well, Bones would like to
All right.
insight check.
All right, don't roll a 1.
$27.
That boy's tail, that them's tail is wagging.
Huh.
You know what it means when your tail is flicking around. you know what's happening.
Yeah.
As a note, Verdi's tail generally stays static
Mm-hmm.
in most every situation unless they're balancing themselves on something.
Yeah. Bones isn't going to comment on it. She's just checking it out. And then she's going to head
Bones,
out.
you sense a very similar kind of chemistry happening, whereas dumb idiot boys or dumb idiot entities are appealing to some people.
Yeah, I know that vibe.
Karn, you look at this from an animalistic perspective, and you see that Verdi is clearly pleased about something.
I've
Pleased,
seen
excited.
happy jaggies wag their tail this hard.
You've seen Natasha wag her tail that hard.
This is very slow. It's a very slow kind of swaying wag, not a happy, oh my god, puppy wag.
A Natasha wag.
A pleased wag.
Yes.
Not a Misha wag, a Natasha wag. Okay, so you two go in one direction to do a thing. Bones, you head out in your direction to do a thing. Biff, you got a date. Roar, need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can get out from under Lisa Baby to do this.
I can do it for you if you want. If you trust the DM to roll for you.
I have real dice.
Hey, Dex checks was successful.
Yo, this popcorn's great.
Told you the popcorn's good.
Oh, his juice is banging. Well, that's happening. Biff, did you have something you wanted to talk to Alina about, or is that passed?
Well, Alina already left, didn't she?
I realized she was still on the board.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, he's gonna walk over to Alina. Hey there, brethren. Aside from all of the talk about hoopla and bravado, this is actually curious about your last encounter with King of Feathers.
I mean, I'm happy to share. I was hired, contracted to escort a couple of botanists into the woods. It was me, a couple botanists, and their field guide. We thought perhaps jaggies at the most. That did not happen. We ran into the King of Feathers. I, of course, put myself between my charges and the beast. Fully expecting to just die. You know, with a fight, of course. Not gonna lay down and take it. And he ripped me to shreds. And they must have come back for me? I don't know what happened. They stabilized me and got me back to the city. And I don't remember a good couple of weeks after that.
Yeah, it's good that you have escaped with but a scar on your face. He says with a gesture.
The scars are
But
not just on my face, and these are the cleanest ones. Salin did a good job patching me back together, but the rest of me is worse.
indeed, we will definitely keep that in mind. Perhaps you are familiar then with a bit of its attack patterns, how it moves.
More or less. It's aggressive and not very defensive. Um, but it will fall back if it thinks that it cannot win the fight.
So this is a completely feral beast, correct? Not perhaps.
It is not thinking, no.
Okay, it's good.
It gave up
If it-
once it realized I was not going to be an easy meal.
Perhaps Biff is thinking a bit of the poison. If it will rush headlong into a battle, we will weaken it.
I think that... I don't know about poison, it is a very large creature, but it couldn't hurt, and a good deal of preparing and choosing our battlefield wisely is not a bad idea.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, you've given Biff thing to think about.
Okay. So as you guys discuss tactics and plan to poison the beast, perhaps, Roar, you roll your wisdom save. That's a 6 total after modifiers. Nothing immediately happens. Can you give me insight or history or arcana? As something's kind of tickling the back of your mind. Something. It's like when you hear a conversation and then, like, wait a second, that's not right. That's happening to you right now.
It's the same for history as well. I just chose Arcana to be the one.
Ah, I see. 25 Arcana. So as your allies settle down and begin to go their separate ways, you are left with the thoughts as you digest the information about the ziggurat, about the story of Omu and what Adano told you, and something comes to mind as you think back to what you were taught at the Lyceum about world history. Adano stated that the calamity tore itself up from the belly of the world. No. The calamity fell from the sky. In the stories you've been told, the calamity fell from the sky. You were left with yet another inconsistency.
Yeah, that's gonna bug the fuck out of me for quite some time.
I don't think you're transmitting.
Am I not? Oh, shit. I was muted, apparently.
You're still muted.
So now might be a good time to roll for some initiative.
Sam's muted. He just keeps
Oh
forgetting.
no!
He keeps talking and forgetting that he's muted on like 5 different levels.
Oh no!
What, can you not hear me right now?
No, you look at it. It's not even
Alright,
lighting up.
I'll wait for him to unmute himself.
No, I am unmuted. What the hell? This shouldn't even be... Okay. This should have kicked me out from here, because I can hear here.
How deep does the mute hole go?
How deep is this mute hole? Is it like a wizard hole?
It's not there.
Apparently.
My push talk should be me. Hello? Hello? Okay, wait, where? I'm in. I can't... There... So, I'm here, but...
Try disconnecting and rejoining.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Nope.
Did Discord forget which input it's using?
It might have.
It might have, he said.
It might have. Okay. All right. Well, I gotta change music anyway.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Now you're, like, it says you're muted.
Hello. Yeah, my push to talk button. It's not registering my push to talk. That's what's going on. Voice and video. I'm on push to talk.
Oh no.
Oh, here's what happened.
He figured it out.
Oh, good. Okay,
It
cool.
lost
It lost track of what my push to talk button was because
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
crazy.
Oh no. It's technical difficulties all the way down tonight.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. We'll push to the point that I plan to end at, and we'll get through it. All right. So, you were left with an inconsistency.
Yes,
That's a very disturbing inconsistency that's going to bother the fuck out of me for quite some time. I will quickly look around at all the people that are still here. Does anyone need to go to the commission or to talk to Crowley?
I don't think Biff has reason to go to the commission.
Bones does, but wasn't planning on doing it immediately.
You say this out loud?
No, Bones left. But if
Oh,
we're,
no,
if we're gonna
Roar.
metagame a little bit, yeah.
I'm saying this out loud. Like, Roar is legit saying this out loud to the group because he like with this inconsistency in his head that's going to bother the fuck out of him. He still wants to get to work on his magic shit, which means he has to get out the door as soon as possible.
All right. So you ask your question. We can say that Bones and Vanya and Verdi are still there at that moment. You kind of call out, "Hey, wait a second! Before you guys go, does anyone plan to go to the commission?"
Bones has to go to the commission.
Biff does not.
So you ask your question out loud from the top railing. Your companion Gallium kind of clamps loudly one of his fists around the rail, reaches over, kind of waves his book at you. Gallium was planning to meet with people.
Well,
anyone that's going, feel free to follow. I have to take the portable hole with me because we need to get rid of some things and get money. I will be back here after,
since
this is a nice convenient workspace.
Still.
Oh, you're willing to fly us to the commission? That'll save me some time.
I mean,
yeah.
But
We walk into the hole and
Yep.
then we have my
alchemical servant fly us there.
All right, new guy, come on. You're gonna experience something fun.
New things! Ah!
And Bones will
Kinda
head back into the hole.
Clumps down the stairs. Gallium kind of marvels at the hole, but has no hesitation about entering the hole. Oh, it's just cozy. You guys get in the hole. Roar, you command your homunculus to fold it up and whisk it off to the commission. So as the groups kind of break up and go in different directions, I'm going to have a couple of people roll for initiative. Biff. I need Biff. I need Roar. And I need Verdi.
As I try to remember where initiative is.
Actually, not initiative. Just roll me a flat D20.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Flat
Yeah, I was
20,
gonna say.
give me the number.
Without an actual combat encounter screen, it doesn't allow us to roll initiative.
Yep.
I got
A flat 12.
14.
Do you need a roll from me at all?
Just Verdi.
Got it.
CC, Dom, and Sam. So it was 14 for Sam, or 12.
12.
12.
If it's just a
If
flat
it's
roll,
just a flat roll, it's 12.
All right, Dawn, you got a 14.
Correct.
CC, what'd you get?
I said it in out of character chat. It's a 9.
Oh, C chat? 9. Okay. Wow. In the order that I broke down the names, we've got our shenanigans. Okay. Let's move back to Nyanzaru. Okay. Feel free to place yourselves where you'd like to go on the map.
Biff is where he needs to be.
Biff is where he needs to be.
The black cat is right here, right?
Right over here.
Okay. I just realized
Little-
Alina's notes say go to the Black Cat Tavern to talk to Johnny.
Rockin'. Okay.
Where's the commission?
I'll catch up with Alina shortly. I'll get these guys, and then Alina can maybe catch up on Heldy.
No rush.
Right on. So, Biff, you begin to head out of the Crosp's office, doing your own thing. I don't know if anyone's accompanying you. There's been mention of, a competition, a contest, a test of strength, will, etc. Biff, as you make your way
will
out...
accompany Biff for lack of better things for Karn to do at the moment.
Karn will accompany Biff. Okay, so Biff and Karn. You make your way north from Crosp's office and up through Merchant's Ward. Biff, you're planning on heading back to Gnome Town to see the fighting ring that's been set up to challenge your challenger. Apparently, Monty has a date with 3 halflings in a trench coat, but he promises to get back to you later. As you make your way up toward Merchant's Ward, you notice a bit of hubbub, a bit of noise, a bit of activity to the south of you, toward the main entrance of Nyanzaru's large gates. You see a number of guards are heading in that direction at a leisurely pace. Passive, let's see, what are your passive insights?
And looking for that button.
17. Wow.
18.
18. Also wow.
I didn't know it was that high.
It's that high. So the thing that you notice as you guys walk past and you see these town guards sort of, heading in that direction, not too fast, not too slow, it's a leisurely pace. There is concern in their face, but also curiosity. You don't hear much conversation, but you do see that, this pair of guards, they are talking back and forth between one another. One is gesticulating with their hands. Biff, you kind of recognize this gesticulation, this movement, as speculation. Like maybe this dude's got a conspiracy theory or something's going on. And that's what you guys catch as you head that way, as you reach the fork that leads toward the main gate and then up Merchant's Ward. So you find yourselves, I'll place you right here.
Okay. Biff is gonna kind of casually listen. They're going in the same general area, so
roll me a perception check as you put your ear out.
that is a 17.
17 perception. So you hear a taller gentleman next to the shorter of the guards. Listen, I'm telling you, they're not lizard folk. You'll see when you see them, but they're not lizard folk. They're reptiles, yeah, absolutely. If there's reptiles, then there's lizard folk. No, they're not lizard. You saw that frog. There's different ones out there. Yeah, but the lizard folk are nearby. Listen, they've got shells. So the lizard folk who ate turtles and used the shells for shield. Yeah, they could be that, but nothing.
Is that fucking Brooks?
No.
No. Okay. You did this.
Brooks is not a town guard. That you know
No,
of.
it's not.
Could have also been the Harangon.
Maybe. Yeah, that was kind of close to his voice.
Biff kind of takes a half step closer, like closes the space. Excuse, Biff gods. Biff could not but help it overhearing you're talking of perhaps a lizard folk.
Karn looms up behind Biff.
The larger guy notices you, Biff. Oh, hey, Arabmag's champion. Yeah, we were talking about the at the gates. We got some guests. Hey, he tells me that they've got shells in their backs. They do have shells on their backs. They're part of them. Oh, they're part of them, he says.
Turtles.
Like turtles, yeah, like turtles, like big turtles. But they dress like people. And I mean, they seem pretty alright, but you know, they're new to town.
Biff like turns to and like backhand slaps Karn in the chest. Oh, they arrived.
They who?
Oh, you do not remember them. Bao, Maruk, Mansa, Master Yozan. We have seen them while traveling.
Those are words.
Those are names. Oh, friends, gods, tell Biff where the people are, where the turtles are.
The taller of the two just kind of waves his hand over his shoulder. Come on, they're over this way. And he begins to lead toward the front gates.
Biff happily follows.
So you make your way toward the front gates, and you see entering through the wide stone doors a series of traveling companions, a little rough around the edges, carrying gear and bags and mess kits. All of the accoutrement for traveling through the jungle. A number of humanoid, thick carapace, turtle-like entities. You recognize them immediately, Beth, as the monks you had encountered several weeks ago. Yozam, the elderly, spindly-necked, beady-eyed, bespectacled turtle, is holding a worn-looking map that you recognize as a map of the town, squinting as they kind of touch apart on the map at a slow pace. A contingent has gathered around them. A number of guards are nearby. One appears to be speaking to Yozam, explaining and pointing out things on the map as well. As you approach, you hear Yozam speak quietly, but loud enough for you to hear with your disgusting perception. Both of you with your disgusting perception checks. We were told to find the one named Muriel for more information. Can you show us this Muriel? Oh, Muriel, she runs she's the lore keeper over at the commission headquarters. We can definitely show you. Is this all of your group, the four of you? Yes, we travel light. We are but pilgrims on a pilgrimage to the north. Perhaps we are more like tourists today.
Biff lifts a hand and calls out, Master Yozon!
Beady-eyed,
the
beady-eyed
turtle people.
The beady-eyed turtle looks in your direction, Biff, and squints before lifting a hand slowly, bending each clawed digit to greet you. The others in his contingent look a lot more sprightly, a lot more quick to move. Pow, the larger built one, stands to the side. Manka, with a number of flowers growing in patchy moss upon their back, more flowers than you remember, plants their staff down and looks in your direction with a smile. Arank in the back watches you with an inscrutable gaze, their black eyes unblinking as you make your presence known. They place their fist into their palm, arms straight in a formal kind of greeting. As some of the guards step aside and you approach. Master Biff, the student of the elements. Greetings. We were not expecting to see you so soon.
Biff first bows, returns the gesture. Biff has been moving quite a bit lately. Is that happy that you have finally made it? Safe and sound, it seems.
Yes, safe and sound and perhaps enlightened. Your adventure toward the south has gone well?
It has. Perhaps you have seen some of the desert along the way has turned into greenery.
Oh, they kind of talk amongst each other. Manka looks surprised. The desert does not change by its own. You would turn a desert into a sea of green. Oh, quite.
It was an accident.
There are no accidents. It is a spiritual journey, all choices. You have some role to play in the grand stream of spirits, I think.
And and Biff looks back at Karn like, nah. Now what? Stop trying to downplay my achievements.
Or achievements.
The student of the elements, the Biff. We are to go and meet a Muriel. Will you be here long? We would greatly enjoy your company while we rest our feet.
Biff will be here for just another days. Has another trip to make down south with a larger group.
A large group.
A large group.
Oh, there is safety in numbers. We only intend to stay for but a day. But if there is more, perhaps we could, what is the phrase? Tag along. Tag along.
Oh, Beef will have to check with the others in group. Is not a journey to be making lightly, but Beef's group plan to do.
The jungle is a dangerous place. It is never safe to travel into the jungle, whether in groups or by yourself. Manka smiles at you and bows their head.
Indeed. Give Biff some time after an event is settled here. We'll touch base with group.
They nod, incline their heads, and mutter and murmur amongst themselves. And the four of them turn to you, Biff, and turn to you, Karn, and bow their heads. We will meet again soon.
Yes, you said you will go to see Muriel, yes? The beauty's at Commission Hall. The guard, and he calls over the guard that was trying to talk to him before. You take care of Biff's friends here.
You mean you want me to go and do what I plan to do?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Blackguard. I appreciate the permission.
Yes, indeed.
He grins, runs his fingers through his scruffy, thick, black sideburn, inclines his head, emulates the bowing motion, and then gestures toward the turtles. All right, fellas, fellerette, I beg your pardon. There is no harm taken. Come along this way. He leads them slowly toward the east side, toward the commission hall. They disappear out of view. All 4 shells kind of like swing, not quite in unison, but never quite knocking together,
You know
despite
what?
their...
If they're gonna get a little step away, and Dip's gonna like walk forward at a normal pace and catch up with them, and God, perhaps there is some transportation you can use. If you're able to get a carriage or something, Biff will pay for it.
You want to buy these guys a carriage? Oh, we are fine to walk. We have walked for hundreds and hundreds of miles without stopping. Okay, I can get you guys a cart. Fine. Yeah, sure. There's a rental fee, I think. Old Jeremiah has a Stegosaurus cart. It is a Stegosaurus cart. And they start to murmur to themselves about the Stegosaurus cart. If you're willing to fit the bill, I'll accept it. 10 gold pieces. Get them around the town 4 or 5 times. They can take a tour.
It's gonna Steve. Okay, Biff will do this. And Biff will help locate a Stegosaurus car.
All right, so you hand over the gold, and the guard, he flags down Jeremiah's Stegosaurus traveling agency. You see your total companions are loaded into a cart, and their hefty bodies weigh down the wheels. The guard decides to walk beside them instead of getting in, as the wood kind of creaks. And these dudes are made out of almost stone. They're huge. As this beleaguered Stegosaurus plods forward and away, off into the distance. The Yozam waves their hands in thanks as they make their way through town in style now.
Indeed, Biff looks pleased with himself.
These ones never rode in a Stegosaurus cart.
No, they are accustomed to walking slowly. Biff thought to give the guard a break. Did not know this break would cost 10 gold. But money is a material thing, eh? Money is meant to be spent for friends.
For friends.
Yes, 4 friends. There were 4 of them, Karn.
This one can count.
Yes, was joke. And he slaps Karn in the chest again. Let us go.
Ugh.
You guys are buddy cops. I don't know what the fuck you are, but I love it. So, you guys make your way up through Merchant's Ward and towards Gnome Town. There, you find near Little Hands, at the outskirts of this park area, there has been a cleared out area. Not quite a pen, but more of like a arena. The grass has been cut low, almost to dirt. Chalk lines have been put in the ground, and a set of partitions, bleachers almost, have been arranged around to overlook the interior, to overlook what appears to be a fighting pit. Aramag off in the distance bellows, chuckling, grumbling laughter, as a number of figures are doing combat within the ring. As you guys approach from the far distance, you see the fight conclude. A victor is pulled up from the ground by their arm. A loser is kind of shoved and swept away with a very large broom toward the edge of the arena and kind of just shoved out of sight, much to the crowd's jeering and laughter. By the time you guys get within earshot, you see a number of other figures entering the ring. You see 3 halflings enter from the south side of the arena. They lift their arms, and the crowd begins to clap and bellow and laugh. As that announcer from the day before, the gnome of peculiar, well-cut cloth but frilly neck, clown-like neck garment, traipses around with what appears to be a hand cone in their fist, and calls through the cone in a voice much louder than it should be. Introducing standing champions, Buck, Tem, and Chungus. The crowd bellows with laughter, clapping, hooting, whistling, otherwise known as three gnomes in a trench coat. The crowd continues to cackle and laugh as these three halflings, not gnomes, stand upon each other's shoulders, flex, and basically drum up the crowd. An elven woman approaches with a long coat in hand, throws it over them, and a moment later, the entirety of their figure begins to shimmer and twist and change. Where there had been three humanoids, small in nature, probably couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag, in their place is what appears to be a Goliath with bronzed, dark cocoa skin, a completely bald head, a face that is chiseled and uncannily handsome, with like pronounced cheekbones, a long chin, kind of like kissy lips, looking like this exaggerated caricature of a handsome human being. This creature flexes and swipes the hand cone from the ringmaster. We're not Buck or Tam or Chungus. We are Homewrecker! As Hot Squidward calls this out into the hand cone, voice bellowing, the crowd lifts up, riots. And we're looking for a champion, a challenger, someone we can really sink our teeth into, maybe even snap.
This one isn't sure if that's fair or cheating.
Does Biff do this?
As the crowd cheers, Biff, you consider your options, and you see, lifting one leg up over the partition, and then another, is your friend from the commission. Broad and bare-chested, without armor, bronzed and coated with a slick and slippery, shiny, definitely slightly more tan than he is oil, is Leonard Monty.
Biff slaps his knee. Three gnomes in a trench coat. It makes perfect sense now.
Halflings.
Halflings.
He raises his fist and he points at the heel of the fighting game and starts calling out and talking trash, and no one can really hear him over. Homewrecker tosses the hand cone to Monty, who catches it, brings it to his mouth. We've had quite enough of your nonsense, Homewrecker. It's about time somebody, extremely handsome, and dare I say sexy, puts you in your place. He tosses the hand cone back to the ringleader, who catches it and lifts up his arms. It would seem we have a contestant, we have a challenger for this year's title. Crowd favorite Leonard Monty Heartthrob and Homewrecker versus Homewrecker himself, the Wrecker of Homes. Who will come out on top? Who will win? Who will break bones? Whose face are we going to have to put back together after this is all done? Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a ride. A loud bell gongs as these two begin to duke it out. They begin to grapple and wrestle and pound on each other. You guys bear witness to this as Aramag in the distance lets out these deep, earthy chuckles, steam escaping from his nostrils, seeping and breathing in this performance, this combat, this carnage that unfolds before him.
This is quite a bit of a spectacle Biff did not expect. It's not unenjoyable. This is quite nice.
This one thinks the home wrecker will win.
No. We must think about it with the storyline perspective, Finn. This
As you
home
say that, Biff, a club is thrown into the ring. Monty is on the back foot. The Goliath of a amalgamation of fighters grabs the club. And then someone throws a wooden chair into the ring. Monty grabs it, lifts it by the legs, swings! And we're going to pull away from you guys, leaving the fight on a cliffhanger. To bring it back into Roar at Commission Headquarters. Not very much time has passed as the portable hole is unfolded outside of the Commission Hall by the diligent and loyal alchemical homunculus. Those of you who want to get out, and enter into the stark, bright sunlight above of a busy Commission courtyard.
Okay, great. I've got a couple things to do. So I'll see you in a bit.
Are you going anywhere near the archives?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit then.
Yeah, Bones is she's gonna check in with Archibald first.
Archibald Graves. All right. You make your way toward the requisition area, the locker, as they call it sometimes. You head off in that direction. Roar, where were you heading off to?
I am heading off to whomever I know is the how do I put this? The treasurer. The person that I go to with bounties so that they can pay me.
Collecting bounties, you head off toward the main desk, toward Muriel. I'm assuming you're turning in all your stuff?
As I left the portable hole, I would have just taken all of the jaggy frills.
Okay. So, quest log. Jaggy frills are worth 5 gold pieces each. The Jaggy tassels are worth 10 gold pieces. The Great Jaggy crowns are worth 25 gold pieces.
Okay. You said quest log?
Yeah, underneath the journals, under journal entries, there are quests.
There we go.
There's the quest log. As you touch base with Muriel, you find that, yes, we're still collecting the bounties on culling the Jaggies. There's still a bit of a problem for us, especially for the Ranger folk. The food bounty, however, we're no longer providing any type of bounties on collected grains or fresh produce or non-essential foods. You'll have to try, if you have them, with the local bakers and cooks and whatnot.
Okay. Now I have. You had them labeled as lesser jaggy frills, normal jaggy frills, and then the Great King jaggy frill. I'm assuming that the lesser. What are the jaggy tassels? Is that something completely different?
They're the floppy frills from the slightly larger female jaggies.
Okay. So then, by definition, this gets a little bit of mathy. Let me pull up
if you have 3 tiers, then we'll assume that the first tier is the jaggies, the second tier is the tassels, and then there's the crowns.
Pull this back open. Hit edit. I already have it open, don't I? Nope. So many windows. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah. I will hand her the 3 jaggy frills, the 12 jaggy tassels, and then the Great Jaggy crown.
Okay, so that's 15 for the jaggy frills. That's 120 for the tassels, and how many crowns?
One. Because we only had the one great.
And 25 gold pieces for the Great Jaggy crown. And so she hands you just a big bag of gold, and assorted gold and silver, pushes it across, takes the items, marks off a checklist of things, and nods in your direction. Oh, well, I have to thank you for doing your part, keeping the jungle just a little bit cleaner for us. Appreciate your work.
I nod. And I'll quickly ask her, who do I go to about body parts?
Bartering the parts as what?
Body parts as weapons is how he refers to it.
Oh, you might want to bring it to Thorak Redstone. He's a bit of a tinkerer when it comes to his smithing. He may have something, he might not have anything. But, what you've got is a good condition. Maybe stitch together some leather.
All right. He was on my list of places to go to as well. Then I look at, can you point me in the way of the direction of an archivist or the archives?
The archives? She glances and looks you over, and nods, recognizing your badge. Archives are back here, love. What hole do you need information
on? Give information.
And
I'll reach into the bag at my side and pull out Theodore Riley's journal.
Oh, stars and stones? That's not. Oh, it is. Well, I live and breathe the field guide of old Theodore Riley. He thought himself an adventurer, you know.
Yes. He ran into some problems. Bad end. Couldn't find a body. But I've copied down what I could, but I believe a proper archivist might be able to glean more from it, and it deserves to be kept in the archives.
She clucks her tongue, sucks her teeth, nods, and reaches for the book. Oh, I've got a young lad looking to cut his teeth the archiving. You might be able to overlook what he's doing, throw this at him, see what he can do.
All right. And with that, I'll give a nod by my head. Thank you for your help. And I'll go.
With that, you leave Muriel's counter. Galleon moves up beside you, behind you, nods in your direction as you head off in your direction, and proceeds to speak with Muriel for a while. Just by the sound of it, it sounds like he's trying to acclimate himself and get as much information as he can about the commission.
I'll actually turn around and stay while he's doing that and wait for him to finish. And
okay.
After he's finished, I'll give a quick shout out. Do you know where I could find a chest that keeps meat unspoiled?
So as Gallium has like this series of like, papers and notes and small pamphlets, and is kind of like tamping them on the desk and collecting them, you call back and ask Muriel that, and she frowns and stiff-lipped shakes her head. Oh, afraid not. We don't have anything quite like that. I would presume Reginald, local wizard, you know him, I believe, could provide something like that, but he's been a little bit busy lately. We've got nothing like that in the vaults, unfortunately. It would be a boon to have something like that in town.
I'll nod. And I'll call out to Gallium. I'll be over at Thorax. So whenever you're done here, you'll find me there.
I think Gallium is thinking he might wander a bit. Will you be long?
I'll be there for a little bit.
He taps his chin with his knuckle, frowns. Would be okay if Gallium meets you back at office place of Crossman.
That'll work.
Meet you there. That way I do not miss.
Indeed.
nods in your direction, lifts a hand in solidarity, and you leave Gelling behind as he acclimates himself at the town hall. Bones, you have headed off into the direction of the back of the condition hall.
I am.
Into the locker room, the requisition room. You do find that Archibald Graves is there. Graying, middle-aged warrior, pretty fairly well-built.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Tan skin, but
we have a history.
Indeed, you are familiar with Archibald. He glances in your direction and lifts a hand as you enter. You find that he is alone in here, just tallying up numbers with a clipboard. There are some blades set aside and a whetstone for sharpening. Seems he's in the middle of multiple projects at once. Inquisitor, what brings you to the locker room?
I have gifts for you.
Gifts? Oh, you don't get gifts very often. And he'll place down the clipboard and approach you.
Alright, on the counter I will put 3 good short swords.
Cocks a brow. Huh. This one up, kind of balances it on his hand, hefts it up by the haft, makes a couple of quick slashing motions, kind of like shadow boxing, but with a blade. Well weighted, not bad. Pretty basic. Perfect for requisitions.
Yeah. And then I'll pull out 6 short bows.
Where the hell did you get all these short bows?
My enemies. Where else is Inquisitor to get weapons?
Yeah, no, makes sense. That makes sense. This is actually going to take this is good.
These 4 are shit and need a little bit of work, but they'll be functional once they have a little bit of work, and these 2 are good.
Oh, yeah. I'll give him a once-over. There's nothing I can't, make do with. This is great. This is going to take a load off of your pa's back. He's been busting his ass making items for us.
Yeah, I figured. And I'm happy to give him some breathing room. But,
Absolutely.
not have it traced back to me.
Oh, yeah, no. You were never here.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Alright, and after that I have to check in with Muriel.
He nods and sees you off, and as you leave, you see that he is still looking over the weapons, quickly moving on to now a third project that you left in his lap, but he seems eager to get the measure of his weapons. You make your way to the front desk. You see that in one of the rooms adjacent that you recognize as a briefing room, there is a metal man with a fin of steel atop his head. It's Gallium, and he's looking over a pamphlet, kind of squinting with his lensy eyes, and turning pages with his giant fingers. The door's kind of open just a little bit. You approach Muriel. There's not much of a line, and you make your way to the desk. Good morning, lass.
Morning. So, I have these 2. I was wondering if you could track down their owners, or next of kin, rather, and pass along the bad news. And I'll put down the 2 commission emblems that I have.
Oh, that's an unfortunate thing. Yeah, I recognize this one. Well, she's not going to like to hear that, but we've been looking for him for a while, so I suppose it does make sense. This one, we'll have to look up the information, but I'll make sure they get to the proper person.
And do you happen to know a Lenore?
Lenore?
I'll pull out the locket. I have a locket with a picture in it, shaped like a gilded seashell, and it has 2 Lenore in it. So.
Do you remember where you found that?
Oh, no. In the jungle, somewhere.
In the jungle? Okay, I'm pretty sure it was like you fought some undead and you found that.
Yeah, I think that was the case. Bones has been like trying to get closure for people, and that's just a thing she does. So I have a bunch of random shit, and she's gonna be like,
okay, shopping episode, but in reverse.
Yes.
She looks the locket over and squints and looks over her thick Coke bottle glasses. Tight-lipped, she shakes her head. No, unfortunately, but I can ask around.
All right. Does me no good.
She nods. She sets it aside, writes down a name.
So the next thing I need to do with you is retire from the Black Dragon Commission.
See your fuzzy brows lift up. Oh. Well, out of all the things I thought you'd come to tell me today, that was not one of the ones that I was, anticipating. I'm shocked.
It still feels weird to me as well, but...
I'm sure you've got your reasons, and, no doubt you've...
No, so, yeah, it's just, it's a conflict of interest. I now am a chairwoman of the new town down south.
Oh, and I'm the last person to find out then, huh? Oh, well, she's a council person. Oh, well, she's got better things to do than to stick around Nanju doing her damn job. Oh, she's going to retire to old Muriel and leave her alone with no one to find her glasses.
Well, there's always Alina.
Alina can't find the glasses. She's got no eyes.
That's
she's
true.
got eyes, but she doesn't have your eyes.
That's fair. There's a couple people in town I'll talk to.
Well, you better find yourself a replacement before you retire. I'll put in the paperwork. It's hard to see it go, but I understand. You've got to keep up appearances, and I suppose, yes, it would be a conflict of interest, especially with all the drama and politics that's been going around.
Yeah, and honestly, it looks like Inquisitors are going the way of Inquisitors are going extinct anyway, so...
Aye. So it seems. Well, sorry to see you go, but I'm sure you'll do great.
It's very strange.
It's very strange. And she pulls out some paperwork and begins to, touch a quill to her tongue, sign some things, and there's a few moments of silence. I'm serious about finding a replacement. You better not leave this goddamn town until you find a replacement.
His name is Clover. He's ward of Miss Hackenstone down at the docks in the warehouse district. He's very nice. Quite good. Will definitely help you find your glasses.
Alright then, you send them my way later.
Will do.
Aye. She inclines her head, tightens up her notes. Will that be all, Mr. Farron?
That'll be it.
It's been a pleasure.
Give her a nod and head out.
You leave Muriel behind. You leave her with a name and a promise to send someone to fetch her glasses later on. You heading anywhere in particular as you leave the commission?
Probably just back to the tower at this point. I've got like 8 million notes to consolidate, and I have to go annoy Reg. And
Hell yeah. No one else is going to do it, except maybe Bolga.
Talk to him
except
about
probably Bolga.
Demonology and Vecnas and,
all that good shit.
All that good shit.
All right. So Roy, you're heading off to Thorhack's Forge. It takes you a little while to get there. It's like a block or two away. You make your way toward the smithy. You find that the whole area around it is warm as the furnace is just blasting. There's a very distant ting, ting. Kind of a slow pace for a smith. You think it's, morning grind, perhaps, as you make your way into Thorhack's Forge.
All right. So as I get in, I will look around. Is it just Thorhack working, or is it a bunch of people working, and I have to figure out which one is Thorhack?
So there is one person in the forge area. The interior of Thorhack's Forge is a small business front with various swords and stabs and knives and shields on display for folks to buy. Beyond the counter for purchasing, you can see into a room beyond where the smith is. The smithy is, where the forge and the flames and the anvils are. You see a single dwarven man, short and stout, with a frayed red beard and mustache. almost leisurely, pounding away at something just out of sight, just beyond the shelf. You see sparks fly with each strike. Give me an insight check.
I'm gonna say no. Hold on. 3 plus 2, so 5.
A 5. You see that they're not entirely focused, but you can't get a read on them. They do meet the description of Thorhack Redstone, though. That is their Bones' father. You've heard about them, and he looks to fit the part.
All right.
He doesn't really pay much heed to you as you enter.
I'll walk towards him. And Thorhack, I presume.
Aye, Forge Master Redstone, that'd be me. We don't deal in electrum here. Gold and silver and copper are fine.
Oh, I hope platinum too.
Platinum? Oh, high roller. He looks in your direction, brings the hammer down with a kink, and begins to ding, 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 short little taps against something just out of sight. As you stand on one side of the purchasing counter, you can see beyond to the anvil. He's working on a long and slender blade, but it looks at it.
I have multiple asks. First, I'll reach into my bag and I'll pull out a makeshift satchel, and I'll hold it out. I've got 20 jaggy needle teeth. I was told these might be good for weapons, maybe darts or something.
You got beastly fangs. Fairly good for arrows, great for darts. Not good for much else unless you want a serrated-edged blade. 25 of them. I can put together some arrows for you, some darts for you, certainly. Unless you have something more exotic in mind.
I was actually just thinking of trade for some value. Since you're making weapons already, I mean, if you have extra.
He steps up and dusts some of the cinders off of his how's it called? His apron, a thick leather apron, barehanded. His hands are calloused and covered in dark soot, and he plods, kind of like half waddles over toward you, and looks at the makeshift satchel. Aye, you're looking to trade raw materials. And he rubs his nose, which is already covered in coal and soot. Looks at the bag. Right then, well, you show me your offer and I'll give you an estimate.
So
I'll
open the
satchel, which shows the 20 needle teeth, and then I'll say, I have money as well. This is just I got these. I thought I might as well get some value out of them. But I have two things that I would need help with, and I was told you might be able to help with both.
He gives you a quizzical and scrutinizing look. Before opening the satchel a little wider, looks at one of the teeth. More of surgical precision, good condition. It's still got an edge to it. I'm not sure what you need of me, but I know a thing or two about working a fire and working a hammer.
I need a vial with inlaid with gold in a very specific pattern, and then I need a special mount made for it to hold it in place and keep it from harm, kind of like a cage.
He squints at you a little bit and cocks one fuzzy brow, nods slowly. Aye, I know how to cook chamber. I know how to heat up gold and keep it hot enough to keep it pliable. You tell me the shape and the dimensions, I can probably do it.
And do you possibly also shape or facet aether stones?
The brow grows high. He clucks his tongue and looks you over, folds his thick arms. Your bones, friend, aye. One of the two metal men?
Yes.
I'm willing to bet you're the magic one and not the animal one.
Yes.
Aye. That magic school, the, Lixirum, whatever. Aye, well, suppose I should have been expecting this coming from you. Aye, I can facet a stone. I don't know runic. But, like I said, you give me a shape. I can make it happen.
Okay. I know that for the first thing I asked for, it's going to be 400 golden materials at first. I'm not sure how much more materials for the cage that I was asking. And I don't know what you value your time to be, or you're charging for faceting an aether stone of a considerable size.
Considerable size, aye. You're talking backwards, big boy. First things first.
I will hold my hand apart.
Martin's left hip, you're kidding.
No.
Hey, how about you show me the goods and I'll tell you what I'm gonna charge you.
I find an open wall. Put up a portable hole. Walk into it.
What in the blazes? Oh, man. Girl, what have you got yourself involved in?
I will nonchalantly come walking back out with the the aether stone that was removed from Zeus.
So you bring it to the counter.
The size of a basketball.
Yeah, you bring it to the counter, and Thorhack goes pale. He picks up the satchel, dumps the jaggy teeth, and just swipes it over the bag. Boy, you can't be showing something like that in public. Dear God. I'm not gonna ask. It's very large. It is very large and very valuable and very rare. I'm not gonna ask why or how, but I know you do it wrong, and you've got yourself an explosive there, a bad kind. Tell me you need it cut first.
Tell me you need it cut first.
Possibly.
That's a lot of chutzpah to be putting into just about anything. You make an airship with that. You make a magic tower with that.
Basically, that's sort of what it's going to do.
Where the hell are you building an airship? In that fancy hole of yours?
I hold reach into my bag and I pull out the folding boat. I look around. Is there enough floor space to?
There is not enough floor space for the folding boat inside the forge.
I'm just making sure. I will just say, I can't open this in here, but this is a boat that expands.
His eyelid twitches.
and I would like it to move on land. And with the thing that I plan on doing, I might be able to have it fly in air, kind of like an airship, but not with an etheric envelope, more with like an imprisoned elemental. It could possibly even float on lava.
He blinks harder and harder as you continue, and just start throwing air elementals and floating on lava and etheric envelope. And you see, like, he hasn't glazed over, but he stopped listening like 5 seconds ago. And is not frustrated, but maybe in fear of his life. Or the life of someone else.
I will check the math to determine if I have to cut it first before faceting, and then we could discuss those costs.
Aye. Discuss the costs once you've got the math done. You double check and triple check that math. I've seen what happens when the math isn't right. I call it a rebound. It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Yes,
you come back. You come back when you've got the maths, and I'll provide to you what you ask for. As far as pricing goes.
What about the pricing on the labor for the
pricing and labor and what have you? You're a friend of yours. She's gonna make me do it for you anyway.
Yes, but
I'm under contract. As of right now, I'm under contract. I got to make at least 50 more swords in the next 2 weeks. This project seems like a lot of fun, Mr. Metal Warman.
I could pay you extra.
You can pay me extra.
I also
look in my pocket and pull out the Blackguard symbol. I don't know if this has any value to moving things along.
His cheeks puff up and he kind of blusters and closes his eyes and nods a little bit. Hey, the fact that you're a Blackguard is always the reason that I would consider moving around the contract. You know your way around a forge, eh?
Yes.
How about you help me cook a couple of these swords, and I'll look into making this thing for you in the meantime.
I could do that.
Hey, favor for favor.
Okay.
Okay. Come back with the maths.
Yes, I will go back to doing the math, and I'll go back for that.
Hey, good chat. Put that away. The teeth. Silver piece per tooth. You want it now?
Sure.
All right. He swipes the teeth away from you and onto the floor next to him, and pulls out a bag, counts out 25 silver pieces, puts his hand in the bag,
20.
pushes
20.
it over toward you. There were 20 teeth?
20 teeth.
20 teeth.
Not 25.
Not
20
25.
teeth.
20.
Sorry, 20 silver pieces, pushes it over toward you, lets it aside. You see some of the color is returning to his face. Right. Be careful who you tell about that stone. There are a number of dwarves. I'll be straight with you. There's a number of dwarves who would probably in a bad way.
I will respond
in Dwarvish.
They
lose their beards in a very unhealthy way.
Okay, well, it's been nice chatting with you. Good luck.
Thank you.
It was pleasant.
Very pleasant.
I
will scoop up the orb.
Walk through the wall again. Place it down.
Come back through.
Take the
portal off the wall and leave.
Hey, if you see my daughter, see if you can help her find her sense at some point.
Well, she's in a relationship possibly with.
I don't want to hear about the relationship with the spindly wizard man. Aye, you take it out of my shop. You speak of it no more. You darken my doorstep no more, Mr. Metalman. Then you come back when you've done the maths.
Certainly.
He turns his back and goes back to, now heating up the blade that has long since lost its glow.
I don't even have a reason for Bones to stop in, but now I want to.
All right, so as you leave Thorhack behind with a tentative plan to work together, taking advantage of your abilities as a smith to maybe give him some wiggle room to work in. You make your way, I presume, back to Crosps to do some math.
Yep. And that'll be me for it.
Okay. Before I let you go, I need you to roll me. Let's do an Arcana check. Gallium has not yet returned, so he cannot aid you in this. So this is going to be a flat Arcana roll.
That's a 14, unfortunately.
14. So as you get the stone over, you realize that, yes, Thorhak is absolutely right for what little he knows about etheric, Lycian magic, what have you. Basically, you showed him what should be like a massive jet engine that you want to put in your hatchback. That is the most apt comparison that I can think of here. That's a lot of Aetherstone for one application of this boat that's only like 20 feet long. You're going to have to, at max, you're going to have to cut it. And, polish it, shape it. The size of the stone that you have can be broken into many Aetherstones. Presumably for several different projects. If you're not using it in an airship, then you have a very, very valuable stone that could be partitioned off into many projects or one big project. The scale of which could be a full-scale airship, like a sailing, big ship. Like hummingbird-sized.
Yeah, it just takes so long, and I only just heard now that someone's making Aether ships work over the island. I'm not gonna risk my shit on guesswork.
Oh yeah, no, Aether ships still don't work on top of the island. What you're trying to do is a little different.
I'm not going to risk my shit on guesswork, so I'm going to strap this jet engine into my hatchback.
Hey. Roar did not had never said that he was great for doing this stuff. He's just like, hey, I need this thing faceted. He was expecting the master to be able to say, okay, yeah, this only needs to be this much for this kind of thing. And this is one of the first times he's actually having to sit there and go, okay, I'll have to do the energy math on this one, because normally I just go, oh, I need to do this, and oh yeah, this Aetherstone over here should be more than enough, and a tiny bit of extra power isn't all that bad, but
Yeah. So you determine that it's from this like basketball-sized stone, you only need about the size of a tennis ball. Fun, yes. How many tennis balls can you fit in a basketball? I don't know. You'll probably figure it out because you love math.
Yeah, I do like math. It's something like 15, but I'll double check.
I love that you have a spitball. I love that you have something like off the cuff. That's excellent. Doing the DMing for me. Love it. So I'll leave you with that. With that Arcana check of 14, you know that you can get it done. You know that it's going to be risky. You might want someone to help you with it to get advantage.
Yep.
So we'll pull away from Roar as you do the maths and move down to Tiriki Anchorage. By now, Vanya, you have led the way. Gunslingers or Edith?
I believe gunslingers are on the way to Edith.
Okay, so you're going to start with the gunslingers?
Yep, might as well hit them up first, check in on them.
All right, is anyone else?
Potion is coming.
Did anyone else need to see the gunslingers, or am I misremembering?
No, Alina does, yeah.
Alina does too. Okay. So, as you make your way with Verdi toward the gunslingers, you hear the telltale sound of jangling. Is Lena in armor or still in her?
Alina wears civvies around the city. Unless she's leaving the city wall, she doesn't.
Right.
It's too off-putting. It's too much.
It's not until late into your trip that you kind of hear the jingling of the scabbard on Alina's back, because Alina carries her mom's sword everywhere.
She does carry at least a short sword. Yep.
At least a short sword. You find that Alina's also on the way toward the gunslingers. You arrive at the Black Cat Tavern. You find that there are a number of crates and what appeared to be luggage set up just outside. A number of the gunslingers, as denoted by their sashes, and a couple of wide brim hats here, a couple of ponchos there. They don't quite have a uniform, but they all kind of have the same style. They are gathered around and collecting their things. It appears that they're getting ready to clear out.
Bones is
the
happy.
door to the Black Cat Tavern is open.
Alina is happy, rather. Yeah, Alina's just gonna head right in. She doesn't give a fuck about these gunslingers.
Vanya was kind of startled to see them packing up until Alina strode past her and Birdie and right inside, and so she's hurrying to follow with her skeletons pulling up the rear.
Vanya, as you pass by, you do see that the diminutive halfling, Melvin Bartlett, does wave a hand and nod in your direction. Morning! Before going back to collecting his things and carrying out some beakers and what have you.
He was the one that was doing the potion making?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you finished the potion?
Ah, well, it's a slow brew, so it's going to take a little bit more time. Maybe by noon today.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad to see that. Are you all leaving?
Well, Johnny can only hold us up for so long. Seems we have to go and find other place to rest our head. There's an inn over on the other side of town that we probably occupy for a bit. Then, once the caravan starts heading south, we'll only have to fit half of us up this way. I plan on sticking around Yanzuru.
Oh, that is good to hear. Oh shoot, you seem so busy now.
Not terribly busy. And he places his stuff down. He gets side-eyed by oh shit, what's the other guy's name?
Is it Bill or Tom?
Bill. He gets side-eyed by Bill, who kind of grunts a little bit. Y'all can move. You can talk and work at the same time. It's possible. I've seen it done.
Well, I might be a bit of a distraction. You had mentioned yesterday that you knew some things that could be done with a troll's heart.
Yes.
A friend recently inquired about the potion of regeneration, and I was wondering if there might be a connection between the ingredient and the potion.
Oh, absolutely. You make one or two concoctions from a troll's heart. First, it was a potion of regeneration, a bit safer, a lot harder to make, a lot more ingredients needed. Second is, kind of glances to the left and right. It's not exactly going the up and up. They call it troll's blood. It's, it packs the same punch as a potion of regeneration, but there is a chance for side effects. Cheaper to make, messier ingredients. But if you do it right, and if you're a bit lucky, you get a very potent result.
Side effects like transforming into a troll?
I'm not saying anything along those lines, but yes. You didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear the phrase from me, neither. Warts, foul-smelling sweat, greasy black hair, green skin. It's usually temporary. It's considered in some circles to be a performance-enhancing drug, and for those who drink too much of the sauce, it shows. Maybe even a bit addictive.
I think I knew a man who tried to take that once. Anyway, right, the potion of regeneration would probably be the more worthwhile of the two.
Safer too, I imagine.
Exactly. And I do like my friend. I do not want to do anything that might jeopardize that friendship. Could you instruct me on how to make it?
Aye, certainly. No, I'm a little busy at the moment. So says Bill. I said what I said. And you are busy. Well, I am busy. Gosh, if only there was a strapping, young, tall, dark man who could carry my things for me while I can help a friend here with some alchemy. If only there was a small and diminutive egghead who actually wanted to do some work.
Alina will shout out from the inside, "If it gets you out of my favorite bar faster, I will help you."
If only there were a couple of quiet, hard-working skeletons that someone could direct to assist if they were asked politely.
Bill cocks a brow. I don't mind the manual labor, but I'd prefer not touch my stuff. They can touch Bartlett's stuff. I think Bartlett wants a hand. Bartlett, you want the skeletons to help you out? They look very friendly, but
They're very hard-working.
they're very hard-working. Right. You get your. Fine. Between the skeletons and Miss Muscles over here, I will write down some notes. Please, they don't got butterfingers, do they?
They are very careful with everything they do.
Very careful with everything they do. I'm going to trust you on that in the name of our bud and friendship. And
Frederick, you can put the shield down over there.
Clunk! Tower shield dropped to the ground. It doesn't even fall over. It just digs into the dirt and stays there like a spade.
I will then issue some quick directions to my skeletons, basically instructing them to follow the gunslinger's directions and move the things they indicate to where they indicate.
Yeah, it's not hard to get them to do some menial tasks, moving some items around, bringing them to a large wagon, and settling them in carefully. During that time, Melvin goes inside of the Black Cat Tavern, goes through some of his notes on the table. There's a beaker and a Bunsen burner set up with a blue flame beneath it, boiling away at a small cauldron. He goes through his books and pulls out some paper and jots some things down, and it takes him a while. During that time, Vanya, you hover, I assume. Alina, what are you up to?
I want to see if Johnny can come out and play.
Johnny has been out and is kind of just seated at one of the tables. He waves a hand in your direction as you come in. He's just overseeing as they unload all of their gear and move them out of his rooms.
Johnny, my love, I have questions for you.
Elena, my bane, I may have answers for you.
I'll go sit across from him.
I see we are sitting intimately at a table. The time will not stop talking about. Scandal, I say.
How will our names survive?
But will our names survive? For what reason have you come here today?
I don't know if you know, but I know that you will know who knows I need to speak with. I heard the room. I have it on in authority that my mother was last seen investigating some pale dwarfs to the south. And I don't know fuck about pale dwarfs, but I thought you might know who might know about the pale dwarfs.
Pale dwarfs. Well, first and foremost, congratulations that your mother might be alive. That's actually serious, and I am very happy for you. This is without rank or joking.
We will celebrate when I have her back in the city.
We'll celebrate when you have her back. It's a pale dwarves. They were a rumor up until not so long ago. For a long time, there had been talk of ghost stories. We thought of us as the local drunks bringing in hearsay about seeing ghostly pale dwarves in the woods, often by the mountains. Chalked it up to too much drinking, hypothermia, eating the wrong funguses, and tripping balls. Lo and behold, vengeful mining pickaxe companies set up the shop to the south towards the Mist Cliffs, and stories about the pale dwarves start coming in, and some of them are actually sober enough to cooperate. It is believed that the pale dwarves, the albinos, as some would call them, exist on the Mistcliffs. They are said to be a reclusive group, not necessarily xenophobic, but I have only heard of interactions between them and other dwarves.
Well, you know my mother. If anyone can get them to talk.
Researchers have more curiosity than sense, I find.
That is true.
That is true. As far as who to talk to for more information, I do believe at Lost Hound there is a man rambling. One-armed man by the name of Hugh Hawkenstone. He is said to be one of the survivors from Camp Vengeance. Survived a kidnapping. Came back to town, supposedly fought a dragon. He has been drinking ever since, and he came to town smelling like alcohol, so not much salt has been given to his story.
Good to know. I will check it out. Thank you.
Anytime.
And I'm glad you're getting rid of your tapeworms.
They're not tapeworms, they're basically family, which I suppose is worse.
They're strangers, Johnny. They're strangers.
He inclines his head, rolls his hand, and closes his eyes. Briefly. Allowing you to have this.
Alright, I'm going to go do dangerous things for lots of money.
Send a postcard.
I will. Apparently Bones owns the city now. I'll try to find a postcard.
Find the mailman and find a postcard. We will be here. By we, I mean Roy will be. Me. I will be here. So I think some of these men are set to be regulars. They seem to like the atmosphere. Good luck.
Thank you. Alas, fate must keep us apart. And Alina will stand and head out to go help. Go help the gunslingers move. She's excited to help the gunslingers move out of her bar.
Oh, you're so helpful for them. You're like friends now.
Nope. She's just excited to get them the hell out of her bar.
All right, so you get out there and you begin moving things around. Vanya, after a little while, you are handed a series of notes. Instructions on brewing, ingredients required, the preparation of the heart, and you see through the notes it's less about the heart, the flesh, and more about extracting certain compounds from the heart through a chemical process known as... Hold on, I have this. Autolysis. It has to be heated to a certain degree, at which point the tissue breaks down into a slurry, which can then be added to tinctures. It's all rather complex, but the notes as written, it instructs very specific temperatures for very specific times, certain acidity and levels of chemical additives that must be added at peak moments, how the potion's color should change, how common pitfalls will make you think as though this is a failure. It is not. Keep stirring. That kind of stuff.
Excellent. Vanya definitely would have asked some questions during the process. Some of the things she was familiar with just in the course of preparing potions with Edith.
I'll say that you spend about as much time chatting with Bartlett over this information as it takes for Alina to chat with Johnny and get the items loaded into the cart.
She'd probably ask about other things that could be done with, like, troll's blood and stuff. Just supplemental information in case there was any.
Yeah, he goes on to say that's primarily regeneration, but you can make some damn good fertilizer out of it too.
That is also useful information.
So you are left with a series of notes of what this component can be used to brew.
I will thank him for the notes and tuck them into one of my books to transcribe into my actual witchy notebook later.
Witchy notebook later. All right. I believe you had business with Edith.
Yep. Once that's wrapped up, I'll say bid them farewell, wave to Alina, and let her know that I'm off to spar with Edith.
Okay. So as you go off to spar with Edith, I'm going to pull away from you guys for but a moment to return to Gnome Town, where Biff and Karn have been watching this knockdown, drag-out fight. Both of you, please give me insight checks. Or perception checks.
Okay. 12, I don't understand what's happening here.
You don't understand what's happening. There's a lot of grunting and a lot of more noise than is necessary from these people who are fighting. And there's a lot of showboating. There's a lot of goading. Way more than you would expect from people who are actually trying to knock each other out. Biff. As Leonard is socked across the jaw, spins 3 times and lands on his front, you realize that this is performance art. This is performance art. This is an act. This is ballet. This is a dance that these two are performing. Monty goes down and he goes still. And Homewrecker flexes and roars and cajoles the crowd and lifts his arms. Let's see here. Once more, he is handed the hand cone, and he bellows out into it. You've witnessed carnage! You've witnessed pain! You've seen community favorite Leonard Monty laid low. Is there anyone around? Anyone who dares? Anyone strong enough, bold enough, ballsy enough to take on Homewrecker? The crowd begins to jeer and raise their arms and cry out and call out and boo and whistle and yeah! And make a lot of noise. Can you both make me perception checks? 11. Biff, you're getting caught up. You're getting caught up in the moment with the laughing and seeing Monty go down like that. You realize he can fight better than that. Karn, this is all kind of weird. You're not quite clicking and catching what's going on. It looks like a fight, and this dude's really gloating about this fight, and you're pulled away from it. Boom. 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 As these great beats of heavy footsteps approach from the interior of the crowd. Boom. 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 The crowd begins to part and some of the cheering dies down as Homewrecker looks in the opposite direction, rallying those in the stands. Get anybody challenge, Homewrecker!
I think someone is about to.
And then from beyond the other side of the crowd, you hear a raspy call. My boy would like to challenge Homewrecker. Yes. Go. Fight.
Why is Crowley here?
Oh God.
The crowd wails and cries out and shout as they part the way as this charging, massive humanoid made of clay, covered in feathers and stone armor, jaunts toward the fences. Upon his back rides a robed lizard man. At his side is a satchel, and in his hand is a flask of some kind of bubbling, green, smoking liquid. Yes, glorious battle. Yes. Homewrecker looks up and as the script has just changed. Monty looks up from the ground, face covered in mud, looks toward Homewrecker, looks back toward Crowley and Mongo as the golem leaps over the ramparts, lands in the ground, displacing dirt and stone and rock, and bellows out this roar that silences the crowd. The combatants are left stunned. What are you two doing?
Biff is standing, mouth agape, glancing between the spectacle and roar.
You hear the cackling of a grand turtle behind you.
This one does not fully comprehend what is happening here.
Biff thinks what is happening is everything is going wrong, as he says as he looks around the scene. Oh no, that was fucking Aromag laughing.
Aromag is cackling.
Biff slaps his face and rubs his hands down his cheeks and chin. Biff go save the citizens before Crowley has his golem eat them or some bullshit.
This one can assist the Biff.
Only if it looks like Biff. Alright, Biff understands what's going on. Biff will make a gesture to you if Biff needs help. You will know it. It will look very obvious.
Okay.
And Biff claps him on a shoulder and clears his throat. This is ridiculous! As he starts to stride forward. Move out of the way! Biff will take care of this idiot, this challenger, this golem, this Crowley. Yes! Biff called you out, Crowley.
We recognize you. Yes, the Punch Man. Yes. Mongo has tasted combat. He craves more. Yes. Yes, Punch Man. And he leaps off of Mongo's back. Takes this kind of low to the ground, ready to bolt posture before commanding his golem to meet you halfway. And you find yourself squaring off with Mongo, the clay golem.
I'm following along behind, but staying out of the ring per Biff's instructions.
Biff lifts a single hand to the ringmaster. Sound it!
You can't be fucking serious, dude.
Sound it!
Sound the bell! Sound the bell! He shouts out, and there's a moment of hesitation before ding, 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 a massive bell rings throughout the crowd. People start turning their attention back toward the arena. Having been fleeing in fear, they are now transfixed as you stand toe-to-toe with this creature that is several feet taller than you. And several hundred pounds, maybe like 1,000 pounds heavier. So we're gonna pull away from Biff. as you make your choice. And pull back toward a more tame moment in Turkey Anchorage. Vanya, you lead Verdi down to Turkey Anchorage through the winding streets and toward the Half Moon Court. There you find that the business is open. There is a candle lit in the door, though the interior is dim and somewhat dark.
I will head inside. Doors
you head
unlocked
inside.
and open, right?
Yeah, doors unlocked. You find that Edith is behind the counter. She is writing in a book. It seems to be a ledger inventory of some kind.
Edith, your wayward apprentice has returned.
Oh, back from the jungle. I had assumed that you were long gone. Welcome back. Got the stools warm for you.
Thank you very much, Edith. I'll approach the counter and just look around, and if there's anything that catches my eye is kind of like out of alignment or out of sorts, I'll just quickly kind of adjust it.
Yeah, you find a few things here and there. You put the till back in the orientation it should be in. You find, one of the vases needs water. There's a couple books in the nearby shelves that are not quite, where they should be.
So, Edith, I had something to discuss with you.
Oh, a discussion? Oh, well,
an opportunity, really.
She squints at you.
You're already saying too much words, girl. What's on your mind? Is that a kitty? That's a big kitty. Come here, big kitty.
She immediately loses attention on you and turns her attention toward Natasha. Natasha, for her part. Oh yeah, Natasha plods over. She kind of hops up, big paws on the table, and leans up into Edith's scritching, withered, shaky fingers.
I was actually going to ask after Stratus, since he's my familiar today as well.
Yep.
If nothing else, Jack would be carrying him.
Jack is carrying Stratus. She also turns her attention to see Stratus and looks back and forth between the two black cats.
I like this one better. It's bigger.
I just smile and try to hold back a laugh.
How about this opportunity of yours?
Right. Well, the commission is organizing a expedition going down south into the less explored regions of Tikal.
A damn stupid decision, if you ask me, but it's their right to throw themselves into the fire if they want.
Well, surely with so many of them traveling together, it would be perfectly safe. And the things they could find, the rare herbs and medicines they might be able to uncover from the tribes down south. It is an important opportunity, don't you think?
Oh, certainly. The path to progress is paved with dead men.
And living ones?
Sure, if you're lucky.
Birdie's not sure what to think of this conversation.
So go on. You brought up their stupid decision to move into the jungle, Timmy, for a reason.
Well, I need to train the skeleton some more.
There's a perfectly good training yard just outside of Malice Road. You got the fields. You got just outside of the fences. You got that hunk of a man, Archibald Graves, who can teach you. You were saying?
I was thinking something more along the lines of more extensive training.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps further serving as bodyguards, as I look into rare medicines and herbs from the tribes down south to bring back to the shop.
She closes her book and looks toward you. She takes her glasses off and sets them aside.
Someone's in deep shit.
You'd like to follow these damn fools down south and bring your skeleton protectors into undead territory, not knowing what the hell they'll do, trusting that they're gonna stay good and protect you from all of the horrors down that way. Is that what I'm getting from this?
Well,
My beloved apprentice wants to head back into the jungle to be swallowed alive again.
well, the last time I went, I came back with a troll heart and magic mushrooms.
Certainly did. A couple of nicks and scratches, too. So much danger did you run into out there? How many close calls? That nice lady with the big shield coming with you.
Alina? I believe so.
Pretty nods.
Frederick has his own shield now, too. Frederick?
You're a calcium crusader who is trustworthy and stalwart, I presume.
For the moment.
For the moment, oh, even you were showing signs of doubt. Then you're a bony boy. No, it's a great idea. I think you should go.
Insight.
Roll an insight check.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, no.
I love that response. It's what happened.
Wow, this is way easier than you thought it was going to be. You didn't expect her to be so willing and so happy to see you.
Can I roll an insight
You
check?
can roll insight.
It's a 13.
You don't have to roll high to realize that this is a guilt trip and also trying to make Vanya feel stupid. This is not mom guilt. This is grandma guilt.
Oh, Verdi kind of just nods and
Dude, even
keeps
Natasha's
to
wincing.
himself. Keeps to himself because it might be something Vanya needs to learn.
She needs to learn.
Alina would be there, and she has a big shield and is very good with his sword. And Verdi here has a very big cat, and he has maps, and he knows much more about the southern parts of the island than anyone else in town.
And there's strength in numbers, and you move from the caravan. Every opportunity to not get yourself caught in the jungle. I get it. You're moving carefully. The allure of adventure's got its hooks in you, and you can't resist it. It makes sense. You're young. You're curious. It's what you do.
And then my expression will falter and sober up a little. I have also realized I may have been limiting myself out of fear of what I could become, and these adventures these last few days have shown that there is much more that I am capable of than I believed I was.
Vanya, do you contest a grapple check?
Do I see this coming?
Edith reaches for your hand with swiftness and not severity, but seriousness.
No,
a sobering kind of speed. It. She takes you by the hand, and the grip is firm. Firmer than her brittle, withered, shaky hands would allow you to believe. She looks you dead in the eye.
I know. It's easy for an adventurer to become something they don't want to be. For someone with a spark of magic to go down that road and abuse it, become someone they never planned to be. There's dangers out there, Vanya. More than you know. There's mischief out there. And the jungle will swallow you whole if you're not careful. Know the difference between bravery and stupidity. Please, by the gods, be careful.
I'll meet Edith's gaze with a sober one of my own and put a hand over hers. I know. And trust me when I say that I know how dangerous it can be out there. And I know there are some things that are terrifying in their disregard for others.
She inclines her head.
That is the real danger. Don't offer anything to anyone you're not willing to lose. Never, ever travel alone. Not even for a little while.
Never.
After midnight is the most dangerous time. Don't be caught without shelter and a shiv. And don't forget a lantern and some bug spray.
I nod with all the serious that a Gilnean can afford these instructions.
You go your way and I'll continue looking for a new apprentice, since mine left into the jungle a couple days ago.
And she lets go of your hand.
And I have not seen her since. The poor thing probably got swallowed up by a gorillion.
Or got lost chasing the Phaelites into the jungle. How dare she? She should
How
really
dare
know
she
better.
chase those Phaelites? She really should know better. Her mother should have warned her better.
She cracks her back and leans back and rolls her shoulders.
I'm glad you came regardless. I hear there's a party going up over on the east side with the gnome folk, and I think, seeing as my apprentice is going to be MIA, as the kids say, I should probably close shop and get some drinks and some pie and maybe play some carnival games for the weekend. You think you might help me close shop?
I would be happy to take care of it for you.
Think you can have your manservant over there help?
She glances over at Verdi.
Oh, I already checked. He has nothing better to do today.
Oh, good. I want to see him walk around in that tight leather armor.
Adam?
She makes eyebrow wiggles. Just the worst eyebrow wiggles at you with her beady little eyes. She puts her spectacles back on.
I'm gonna keep petting this cat. You go ahead and lock up the shop, and I will meet you halfway.
I should also tell you that I have made arrangements to secure a assistant for you.
Oh, you found yourself a replacement. That's wonderful. That's like a 2 weeks notice handle.
I will not vouch for their ability to make medicines, but you can say that they will be able to help you around the shop and reach those things you should not be reaching. I know how rickety your stool is.
Well, then maybe I can stand on their shoulders if they pick them up and put them down. Are they built like your friend here? Because, I mean, I might be very amicable.
I am not sure, but I will find out, and I will let you know.
You come to my shop, you tell me you're going into the woods to die, and you tell me you're giving me a new assistant. You don't even know what the name would have. You know what, Vanya? Sometimes I wonder if you might have been dropped on your head as a child.
Well, if I die out in the woods, I will not have to face the consequences of my actions, so can you blame me?
No, that's fair, actually.
Immediately go about, like, finding a apron to toss on and finding another apron to toss at Verdi as I begin to tidy up the shop.
You guys spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning and putting things back away, setting up items to be put onto display the next time that the place is opened. Edith lets you know she won't be reopening until after the caravan leaves on A-Day? What day is that? On...
Day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow. So, yeah, A-Day. Monday. And
shortly after I start, I will also take a moment to step in back and kind of just face a corner and put my hands to my chest and concentrate as I send a message to Bones via the token that I gave her. Just an echoing quick message. Edith has approved my temporary replacement. Whoever you think would be fair, I would like to meet them. I'll be returning to the festival tonight.
Yeah, and DM, Bones knows most of the wharf rats in the city. Is there someone that she thinks would be a good fit for Edith?
Last game, you mentioned Clover, and you know he's a rigger. He's good at climbing, he's spindly, he's kind of tall for a kid. He'd be perfect for pushing around. He'd be perfect for doing menial tasks.
Yep.
Excellent helper, bright enough, quick enough to pick up on things. There's a couple of wharf rats here and there, younger people who could get the job done, but he's the first one who comes to mind.
Yeah, he kind of is. Yeah, Bones will find him. Bones can find people. She used to be an inquisitor, at least. Yeah. Maybe he'll take a break from rigging for a little bit.
Yeah, so do you get him introduced right away?
I'm gonna talk to him first and make sure he's on board, and then I'll probably make some introductions.
Yeah, if that's your first order of business, then you head over to the docks, over to the mooring supply, and you find that Clover is out and about. He's like running errands for Foreman Lady Foreman, his not mom, and you do discover that he is indeed free during the days, during the hours, and he's very plucky about it. Most of the other children have 2 jobs. I have not yet got 2 jobs. I think I can manage 2 jobs. It sounds like fun.
All right. I think he'd be a good fit. She's interesting. You will learn a lot if you keep your ears open and your eyes open.
I've heard she is an old lady.
She is very old, and Vanya is mostly worried about her reaching things on tall shelves. So I immediately thought of you.
Oh, yes, I can move fast to get to the shelves to get to her if she falls.
Excellent.
I think I can do a good job.
Wonderful. Actually, we're over near the docks. Let me walk you over.
All right, so you walk, you're fucking tabaxi. You guys are quick. You're walking.
I don't have to match my speed to humanoids. We can just go.
You jog, you do some bounding, you do some, rooftop jumping, and you find that he's just as well versed in getting up these buildings, and it becomes a game of cat and cat. He's got that kitten energy.
I will also mention that he might be called upon to find Muriel's glasses on occasion.
Oh, that is another old lady who I know. I'm not supposed to call her old, but she is old.
Yes.
You make your way toward Cherokee Anchorage. It is just before you guys begin to close over at the Half Moon Court. Bones, you arrive at the court. Make your way inside. You bring Clover in with you. You see that your small tabaxi friend is immediately rubberdecking, looking at all the bits and baubles, the dust in the air, the shiny trinkets, the herbs. He kind of scrunches up his nose a bit and pinches at it a few times, and at that, Edith kind of notices you guys come in, kind of squints a little bit.
Feline disposition. You get used to the herbs. Well, you don't really, but you can pretend to for my sake.
Edith, Vanya, this is Clover. Clover was a big help when Zilris took over the city as a runner for me, and works as a rigger during his off hours, but is looking to pick up a second job, and I would vouch for him wholeheartedly.
climb and then move things and then climb.
And he managed.
Okay,
And he managed to keep Crowley under control and out of Crosshair.
Oh, that is actually quite an interesting feat. I could make you a bouncer. You could bounce.
I do not bounce. I do not. I land. I do not bounce.
Okay, all right. One step at a time.
So Clover meets with Edith, and there's a little bit of maybe wariness as Edith is working with a new person and a very young person. But roll me some insight checks.
Yeah.
All of us?
If you want, you don't have to. I'm not sure.
I'm going to give Clover like all of the tips.
Oh no, that's really awful.
16.
Okay. Bones, you pick up on a little bit of what seems like animosity. And, like, you're a big sister. And some of that big sister energy kind of almost comes out as this older lady kind of busts his chops a little bit. Verdi, you pick up that Edith is a cat person. And what looks to be ribbing and looks to be poking and prodding and a little bit of mischief is done so as a mischievous kind of affection. And Clover seems to be picking up on it, and Clover is absolutely playing dumb about it.
Bones kind of just sighs a little bit because, she's worked rough jobs before, and it's only for a little bit while Vanya's out of town, so worst comes to worst, she'll fire Clover, and Clover will move on to better things.
Yeah, it works out for everybody. Over the course of, the next hour or so, Clover helped close down the shop with Vanya and with Verdi. Bones, he lets you know that, well, he has to head back to the market ward.
Lady Foreman probably wants to know where I've gone for the last hour, and why I have not delivered her bags. I should go do that. I will go do that. This has been fun.
Thank you, Clover.
It is always a pleasure. I am happy to oblige. Goodbye, Mrs. Edith. It's Mrs. Dench.
Goodbye, Mrs. Edith. And he kind of bounds off toward the market ward up the road to Cherokee Anchorage. Edith, on her little cane, shaky as she is, begins to, satchel over one shoulder, make her way down, the road toward where she lives.
I've got to drop off my things, but I'll be around. And Vanya, you need anything before you go, you come find me. Let me know.
I would not dream of leaving without first saying goodbye.
Good. I'm gonna hold you through that. I'll fucking haunt you. I will haunt you. I will ruin every dream you ever plan to have if you do not say goodbye. I can do that. I'm an old lady. I can do that. I got one foot in the grave. I'm already a ghost. I'm a specter, and I will haunt your fucking dreams, woman.
Alright, I gotta roll a wisdom saving throw. Hold on.
Ernie's just cupping his mouth like this little old lady's swearing, and it's the funniest fucking thing to him.
I will see you at the festival, and I will buy you a cookie.
Oh, now you're trying to bribe me with a euphoria, but I have one word for you. Yes.
Bones is cracking up in the background, like she's like that kid, like they cannot keep not laughing.
That will work, and I just might forgive you if you buy me 2 euphorios. Might.
I am in your debt, and I have a steep hill to climb out of it.
Yes, you are in the shit list. You are still in the refuse pit. Understand this. I will see you there, and I will take from you a cookie and maybe 2, and we will talk no more of this until later.
Understood.
Understood. Take care of your cats and your manservant.
She walks on off with her cane. Kind of inclines her head to Bones at the mention of cats.
Yeah, Bones was like, "Does she mean me?" And then she
absolutely means Bones, and leaves you. One of you cracking up. Verdi trying to not exist.
Why does she keep telling me that?
I haven't the faintest idea. She's
Natasha.
a very strange old woman.
Yes.
Natasha purrs and brushes up against Verdi. So you guys prepare to go party for the rest of the day. There's a party over in Gnometown. Hell yeah! I think all your errands are done. Who else has errands? Bones has like 1,000 errands, but
actually, Bones is almost all the way through her list. The rest of her list is go back to the tower and annoy Reg and get all of his notes.
All right.
That's all she got.
You got plans to head to the tower to go over notes and do stuff. Verdi and Vanya, you got parties to catch up to. Hildy, it's around this time that you're starting to feel a little bit better. Medicine has been brought. Gerald has... Well, he doesn't cook much, but he bought some soup and brought some soup, and you've got some soup. It's a fish stock, though, so it's kind of weird.
Hildy likes fish.
Yeah, it's not chicken soup, but hey, it is what it is. Biff, roll me a couple of attack rolls. Roll me like 3 attack rolls.
Gotta find it on here again. This is new. More features. Actions, there we go. So that's a 25 to hit for 6 points of damage.
Roll one more. Okay. All right. So, your fists are magic, right?
Yes.
All right. So the crowd goes wild as you get the jump on this guy. You dive in. You pow, hit him with a haymaker. Elbow him sharply in the gut. Bring the knee up. Try to punch through him. And your fists are leaving dents in deep, like, holes in the golem, who's pushed back and thrust back and put onto the back foot, who then rears back and slams its hand down. Fist balled. Does 20 hit your AC?
Yes.
He then strikes again, swinging at you for 29 to hit.
29, okay.
And the third is a nat 20.
God, do I have...
Oh, I saw you had, like, some Facebook stuff.
Yes. I gotta have something, taijutsu, hold on.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, I'm gonna use defensive taijutsu.
On the crit? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm good, thank you.
See if you can turn it into a non-hit.
Yeah.
Oh, the defensive taijutsu is just to reduce the damage, right?
Yeah. The damage for the attack is reduced.
Alright. Let me roll some d8s real quick, because this is the one that matters. Alright, so that's 44 points of bludgeoning damage, reduced by 13.
Alright, so I would have had to roll a 20 to neutralize it.
You roll your d10. You reduce the damage by... Alright, so defensive taijutsu, that's 1d4 plus a d10 plus 3 plus 8, so that's 19.
Sorry, math is weird for me. I'm just trying to see if I hit the mark for the second part of Taijutsu.
No, you do not manage to reduce the damage to 0.
Okay.
He is doing an absurd amount of damage because he crit.
Okay.
So mark down that, let's see, that's 25 points of damage. How much HP does Biff have total?
96 out of 98.
96 out of 98. So hold on, because there's 2 more attacks there. All right. Mark down that Biff is on the ropes. As the fight goes on, Biff, you get a super strong start. You attack and wallop and strike, but the clay golem is dense, and your blows, though they strike and they deal damage, don't seem to be having as much impact in the amount of time that this thing is striking back. The fight is looking extremely one-sided, and you're looking like you were on the back foot. So don't deduct your actual HP, but do mark that you're on the ropes, you're winded, you're in a bad spot. And as the fight begins to turn against Aramag's champion, we're going to call it here. Biff is on the ropes! We're going to call it here and pick up, I don't know, some other day.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhangers! It's always cliffhangers. It's never not cliffhangers. Let's see. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of frisky. Maybe we should play again before Wednesday, just to get this day taken care of and move things on, because things are moving a little bit slow. Let me know what you guys think in IMs over the next couple days. If you guys want to pick up earlier, or just wait it out and see if I can actually fix my pacing next game.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for game.
Thank you.
Thanks for playing.
Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
See you around. Bye-bye.